Hi there, I'm Ben DeLay, software engineer here at RSX. Today I'm going to walk you through a few best practices in getting good clusters. But before I do that, let's take a look into how clusters are created and why having good clusters is so important to getting consistent and accurate data. So what is a cluster anyways, and how are they created? A cluster is a set of pages with similar URL patterns that also look visually similar because they share the same structural layout. This shared layout is important to keep in mind because it is key to how RSX functions. RSX's default clustering strategy is based on analyzing URLs. If a set of pages share similar URLs, RSX will tend to group them in the same cluster. So how are clusters used to create rules and extract information? By analyzing a set of training pages, RSX is able to identify a common layout template, which can then be used to create extraction rules for that cluster. This common template represents the HTML code that is identical across all pages within a cluster. Anything not contained within this common template is then considered information to be extracted. Now that you've learned the basics of clustering and how RSX uses templates to extract information, I'm going to walk you through a few best practices for getting good clusters. As you may have figured out by now, good clustering allows for the extraction of better quality data. The first best practice we suggest is using representative training pages. Training pages are pages within a cluster that guide RSX into creating a proper template layout. The example target pages provided are the training pages used by RSX's machine learning system. However, if no training pages are specified, RSX will identify a set of training pages for you. In either scenario, it is important to ensure that the training pages within a cluster are representative of the actual pages you want to extract data from. To review these pages, hover over each page's thumbnail to view the URL, or select Live to open that page within a browser. Another best practice we suggest is ensuring training pages are of the same layout. Making sure that training pages share the same layout is important because, as we discussed earlier in the video, RSX uses the set of training pages to identify a common layout template and then extracts anything on the pages not contained within this template. Therefore, if the training pages have different layouts, RSX will be unable to learn rules for extracting accurate data. For example, let's suppose we're looking to extract data from the JAIR website. Should these three pages be included in the same training set? To answer this question, notice that these two pages have a common layout, where the title, authors, abstract, and other data fields are at the same relative position on each page. On the other hand, this third page does not have the same data fields or formatting. As such, we wouldn't want it to be a part of the same training set as the other two pages. The last best practice we'll suggest is to review how RSX has clustered pages. RSX usually does a nice job of grouping pages based on their URL patterns, but when pages with similar URL patterns don't actually have similar layouts, it can cause issues. So, if you come across a cluster with a page that contains a different layout, we suggest you adjust your clusters manually. To do this, first go to the Select Cluster step. Next, click on Advanced Options. Here you will be presented with the option to either move pages or merge clusters. To move a page around, select the cluster you want to move pages to. Next, choose between training pages or testing pages. Once you make a selection, click Next. This will enable you to carefully select your individual pages. Once you've done this, click Move. At this point, your pages should have successfully moved to their new intended location. It's important to note that you'll have to click the Relearn Extraction Rules link if you want to use the new training set for learning. Otherwise, you'll see no effect. You can find out more information by watching the relearning videos.